Tonight, I'm taking you for a ride on Europe's newest overnight train, the incredible new Nightjet, from Vienna in Austria to Hamburg in Germany. But this isn't just any overnight train, as I'll be spending my night in the world-first private sleeping pod. So join me on this brand new train as I show you all classes of travel, from the low-budget seating all the way up to the luxury sleeper, and also share the reason why this was a sleepless night. This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. More about them later on in the video. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm outside of Wien Hauptbahnhof and I'm going to be travelling on board the brand new ÖBB Nightjet up to Hamburg. For this journey I'm riding on board one of the brand new sleeping pods. Really looking forward to this new experience. Let's go. Wien Hauptbahnhof is Vienna's biggest station, and a relatively recent addition to the city too. It first opened in December 2012, serving as a replacement to Vienna's various other terminal stations, making travelling to or through the city more convenient. The station is also well connected by Vienna's vast network of local buses, trams, and the U-Bahn metro service. This modern transport hub is a fantastic place to start tonight's exciting ride, so let's head inside. The main entrance leads you to this spacious and open area, but if you immediately look right, then you'll find a historic statue. This is the Lion of St. Mark, and dates back to the 1850s, commemorating direct trains to Venice, Italy. Wien Hauptbahnhof is packed with facilities, and is always a lively and happening station. Here is the large staffed ticket office, selling tickets for many different state operators across Europe, though automatic ticket machines are also available. There are a huge amount of shops throughout the station building, even situated across 2 levels. A lot of these were closed, however, as it is quite late this Sunday evening. I literally couldn't show you all of the shops without this turning into a shopping mall review, but rest assured you won't be going hungry here. The station has a lounge facility, though unfortunately access is not included with my mini-cabin ticket. This is reserved only for passengers in the more expensive sleeper cabins, as well as first-class seating on regular trains. This station has more international trains than any other in Europe, so its departure board is often filled with far-flung destinations. My train is NJ490. The 2010 service to Hamburg and Amsterdam will be departing from track 7, so let's head over there and take a look at our train. Wien Hauptbahnhof has 12 tracks for passenger trains. Of these, 2 are located underground and serve exclusively commuter trains that run through the heart of Vienna. The remainder are elevated above the main concourse, with escalators and lifts taking you up to the station's grand departure area. Now I know I've said this before, but I really love this station's design. It's a modern take on the classic overall train shed, and I think it looks the part. As I wait for my own brand new train, many other older services can be seen, including this Eurocity service from neighbouring Hungary. However, not long later, a fellow passenger pointed out that the departure boards were showing some of the carriages as being cancelled. I wanted to check this myself, so I connected to the station's free Wi-Fi network. This connection, like many you encounter when travelling, was a public Wi-Fi network, meaning my data was not secure. And that's where today's video sponsor, Surfshark VPN, comes in. Surfshark is an award-winning virtual private network and an essential tool for me when travelling. So, what does Surfshark do? Well, it turns your public connection into a private one, and as someone who travels for a living, it's safe to say I use a lot of public Wi-Fi networks, whether in trains, coffee shops, or even in the airport. But these connections are unsecured, and this puts you at risk of being hacked. Surfshark will encrypt your personal data, giving you peace of mind while browsing the web. And that's not all. Surfshark allows you to spoof your online location, letting your device pretend it's in another country. This has countless benefits, as many companies these days restrict access to their services in regions other than their own. Use Surfshark to change my location back to the UK, and I can watch all my favourite shows just like if I was at home. It really is an essential tool, both when I'm abroad or at home. What's not to love? And today, Surfshark are offering my subscribers a special offer. go to surfshark.deals/superalbs and enter code superalbs at checkout to get 3 months extra for free. Eventually though, our train pulled in from the sidings. Up front is an ÖBB Class 1116 Taurus locomotive, the bulk of the Austrian national operator's fleet. And here is one of the 33 brand new Nightjet sets. These trains are in a fixed formation of 7 carriages, with 5 types of accommodation that I'll be showing to you throughout our overnight trip. My bed is in the Couchette carriage today, which can easily be identified by the rather unorthodox window layout down one half of the carriage. This train will soon be the face of overnight journeys across much of Europe, and is based on the already very popular Siemens Railjet design. But with our departure fast approaching, let's get on and find my mini-cabin for the night. The interior is looking super fresh, which is no surprise, as this is the train's first ever journey. My mini-cabin is in coach 413, bed 54, one of the upper berths. Today's route will see us heading west from Vienna, travelling as far as Wels before crossing into Germany at Passau. We then take a convoluted route through rural Germany before joining the high-speed line in Göttingen for the fast ride to Hamburg. Journey time is scheduled to be 12 hours and 37 minutes, covering 1,138 kilometres or about 707 miles. We depart Wien Hauptbahnhof a few minutes late, at 20:18, beginning our overnight ride to northern Germany. Now, whilst the journey ahead features a few unpleasant surprises, for the time being, let's take a look around the interior. So, this is one of the Nightjet Mini-Cabins. It is compact, yet very convenient. The shutter automatically locks itself, with access only possible using the keycard given to you after you board. Each mini-cabin also has a couple of storage areas, also accessed by keycard. One of these is for your shoes and other small items, while the other takes a bag or suitcase. The maximum dimensions are displayed on screen now. If you're travelling in a lower berth, there's a secret storage area beneath the mattress too. We'll have a proper look at the bed when it's time to sleep, but for now, let's look at the other features. Each cabin gets a European-style power socket, located close to where your head goes, and above this is a USB socket. There's a small storage pocket up here too, which contains the train's safety card. You'll also find the onboard magazine, good for a little bit of late night reading. That is, if you understand German. This is the room's control panel, mainly for controlling the lights. These even allow you to cycle between various shades of mood lighting and brightness levels. My only concern is that the beeping noise these buttons make is very loud, so try not to adjust it much during the night to avoid disturbing others. There's also a dedicated reading light activated using this switch. Also in the room is this multifunction table, which has a really clever design. The large surface features a small drinks holder and is easily adjustable like so. When folded back up, it can be used as a mirror. And lastly, there are a pair of coat hooks found in the cabin. By the way, if you are travelling in a couple, then adjoining mini-cabins can be connected at face level. Anyway, looking back outside, we are now a long way out of the city of Vienna. After around 30 minutes, we make our first stop in St.Pölten Hbf. And just a few minutes later, we are back on the move. Right, let's take this opportunity to have a look around the rest of the train. Toilets can be found at the end of the carriage. There's also a room with just a sink, ideal for brushing your teeth. The toilets themselves were exactly as you'd expect for a modern train. They were spotlessly clean and in very good condition. Disinfectant can be found here, with soap also available. The water was working fine, and lastly, a hand dryer was provided. Each new Nightjet set features a dedicated cabin for wheelchair users and any accompanying passengers. This features 4 beds and a pair of seats, and of course there's plenty of room for manoeuvring a wheelchair too. Just next to this is a wheelchair accessible toilet, though the best accessibility feature has to be this low floor section, allowing for level boarding at many stations. Whilst I personally found climbing up to my mini-cabin fairly easy, it can be a challenge to move around in this fairly compact space. However, as well as the mini-cabin, each of the 3 Couchette cars features a few traditional 4-berth couchettes. These shared rooms are similar in comfort, but with more space, and are available at the same price as a mini-cabin. Moving along the train, we find one of the 2 sleeping cars. These feature much larger private rooms, with capacity for up to 2 people. Unusually, the beds are parallel to the window, rather than perpendicular, which I must admit I don't really like. Each sleeper room has an ensuite bathroom, and this features a basic shower too, which really makes a difference to the experience. There are also 2 deluxe rooms per train, which have even more space and a better shower facility, though unfortunately I couldn't film one of these. And at the opposite end, quite literally, there is the seated car, which has plenty of great new features itself. But as it's so busy, showing this off will have to wait until morning. Along the way this evening, we managed to pick up quite a few minutes of delay due to some sort of technical problem with the train. Eventually, we pull into Wien Hauptbahnhof, situated here in Austria's 3rd largest city, running around 30 minutes late. Though this delay will seem small compared to later on in the trip, unfortunately. And with that, I think it's time to get ready for bed. Waiting for me in the mini-cabin was my set of bedding. There's a top sheet, and a big red blanket. You do have to make the bed yourself, which was pretty tough in the small space available. The bed in the mini-cabin was fairly well padded, about average for a couchette. The provided pillow was pretty decent, and overall this made for a comfortable place to spend a night. As for size, I found the mini-cabin to be reasonably tall, with a bit of headroom even when sat up. The bed is pretty long too, being 188 centimetres, meaning most average height people will fit comfortably. However, if you are over 2 meters, then you might have a bit of trouble fitting in. And if you're wondering how many people can physically fit in one of these mini-cabins, the current record is 5. The mini-cabin does have some small air vents, though I found the temperature varied greatly throughout the journey, which was quite uncomfortable. Time to pull down the blackout blind, turn off the lights, and get some rest. I'd love to say that I got many hours of uninterrupted sleep, but around midnight all lights on the train were suddenly switched on automatically. And at 3 in the morning there was a very loud announcement welcoming me on board the train.
Dear passengers, a very warm welcome to your Nightjet service to...
And even telling me to be quiet in the night, which was rather ironic.
Please be sure to observe the train's silent hours between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m.
I eventually get up after about 7 hours, despite waking up many times thanks to the disturbances in the night. It's just after 8 in the morning, meaning we should soon be approaching our destination of Hamburg. But looking out of the window revealed we were in the town of Reichenhall, nearly 3 hours away from Hamburg. Still, I guess that gives us more opportunity to enjoy this incredible sunrise over central Germany. All passengers in the Couchette car get a complimentary light breakfast. This consists of a pair of bread rolls, accompanied by some butter and jam. There's a set of disposable wooden cutlery too. And of course, a choice of tea or coffee. It might not be much, but it was a nice way to start the day. This station is Göttingen, one of Germany's major high-speed interchange stations. After here, a decision is made to allow us to run on the high-speed railway, hopefully to try and make up some time. It turns out that last night, our locomotive had a major failure in the middle of nowhere, resulting in this huge delay of around 3 hours while we waited to be rescued. Now let's have a proper look at the seating carriage. Unlike previous Nightjet trains, this is in a 2+2 seating layout. There are no more seating compartments. These seats are relatively decent and even feature adjustable thigh support and a recline. Though personally, I wouldn't want to spend a night here, especially with this bright lighting. The seat cars do also feature secured luggage racks at the end of the carriage, which allow you to tie your luggage in for added peace of mind. By the low floor entrance, you'll find space for 6 bikes, which must be reserved online for a hefty fee of €29.90. And just wait until you see how much this entire journey cost me. There are even some spaces to store skis next to this very lonely seat. Our next stop is Hannover Hauptbahnhof, a major city in the north of Germany and the last stop before Hamburg. Oops, I don't think that's meant to happen. We are now on the final stretch of this very delayed journey, so let's talk about how much this trip cost. I reserved my ticket 2 months in advance, booking direct on the ÖBB Austrian Railways website. In total, this cost me €75.40, which I think is amazing value for an overnight journey in this part of the world, especially considering the privacy and comfort on offer. The journey actually ended up costing me quite a bit less, though I'll go into why this is once we arrive. And here we cross the Süderelbe River, a clear sign we are fast approaching Hamburg Hauptbahnhof. We even pass one of the city's ubiquitous S-Bahn commuter trains on its way south, which uses an uncommon third rail electrification system. I really love the railway into Hamburg. It gives a great view of the city as the train negotiates the area around one of Europe's biggest seaports. We eventually pull into Hamburg Hauptbahnhof with a delay of 183 minutes. According to EU Rail passenger rights, this entitles me to a refund of 50%, which was paid within 2 weeks of my claim. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this journey despite the major problems with this specific run. These mini-cabins are totally revolutionary in terms of the passenger experience, allowing for the comfort and privacy of a sleeper cabin at a significantly lower price. As always, let me know what you thought of this Nightjet mini-cabin in the comments, and once again a massive thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring the video. Be sure to click the link in the description and use code SUPERALPS at checkout to get 3 months extra of this travel essential for free. And if you want to see my video on Romania's 60-year-old overnight train, then click up here now.